y'all, Lucas here with the Outdoor Gear Review.
And today, for this episode, this is the very first of our Campfire Chronicles for 2014. And we are going to have an awesome time. We're going to be cooking up some dinner, we're going to be making a fire, having some coffee and hot chocolate. It's going to be great.
Yes, sirree.
And of course, I'm with my very best friend in the entire world.
I love you.
Love you, buddy. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started. Alright folks, we have about 45 minutes of good light left here, so we need to go ahead and get our fire going. And of course, we're going to leave this up to the fire master.
Hello.
He's going to be in charge of this fire. This is all on him. So Lukey Bear, what do we need to go out and collect?
Fire bundle and fuel.
Lucas is right. We need to collect our fire bundle material, and we need to collect some fuel for this fire. Now, since it has been raining for the last couple of days, we know that anything that's on the ground is going to be wet, it's going to be damp, definitely hasn't had enough time to dry out yet. So we want to find things that are hanging from trees, things that are elevated above the ground that'll be drying out thanks to the wind. So that's where we need to look first. Sound good?
Yep.
All right.
Alright, so I'm going to be doing a test, and so we're going to break this. And you can hear how dry it is, so that's going to be good. And it seems like this tree has broken off of an apple tree, so it's just kind of hanging here.
Good choice, my friend.
Yep.
Man, good choice on this, dude. This stuff is bone dry.
Yeah.
You can tell how dry it is by the crack that it makes when you break it. Perfect.
I mean, listen to that. That's awesome.
Heck yeah. But of course, this is just a start.
Yep.
So we can make a pile of this and then move on and find some more. For the fire bundle, we are going to use some dry bark. And the last time I was up in the woods, kind of just messing around, I was testing out some gear, I found this gigantic piece of bark, as you can see here. And basically, I just took this, it was soaking wet at the time, and I just threw it over the tree and just letting it air dry. And this stuff is definitely nice and dry. It will accept a spark like no one's business. So that's what we're going to use. All right, Lukey Bear, come on over here, kiddo.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to setting up a fire, you want to think about it as in stages. So like the tinder bundle material, that's your stage 1. That's what you're going to start with. That's what you're really wanting to get on fire. Then you have items that are just a little bit bigger. You want your wood just to be a tad bit larger than your bundle material. That's your stage 2. Then, as that catches on fire, you want to introduce even larger items. That's your stage 3. And then eventually you can get to logs and stuff like that. So everything's done in stages. 1, 2, 3, and on. Make sense? So before we split up and keep on collecting our firewood here, what do we need to get? What are the stages?
Well, the first stage is bundle material. Like, not sure if you can really see this, but like this. Like,
Yep, dry bark.
Yep. And then goes from like bundle material to very small sticks. And it just grows every stage. So very small, small, get larger and larger, larger and larger, and then logs.
He's got it. He's good. All right. While Lukey Bear is doing all the hard work, he's young. He has the energy for this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and start kneading up this bark. Like I've said a million times, we want to expose those fibers. Now this bark is really old, so it's a little bit more crumbly and a little bit less fibrous than a lot of the stuff that you guys will see. But it'll be just fine. As I am kneading this up, you might be able to see that there's a lot of dry dirt and little chunks of bark falling out of that. And that's a great sign. That shows you that this is nice and dry, that it's not moist, and that it's a good candidate to accept your spark. If it was making like a paste in your hands, too wet. For this fire, we are going to be using a ferro rod along with some steel wool. This will be Lukey Bear's very first experience with a ferro rod. So with the steel wool, we don't need a huge piece, just a small little chunk, since our ingredients for our fire are pretty dry. All right, Lukey Bear. Before we jump into getting the fire going, we might as well get him some hands-on time with the ferro rod and the striker. So what you want to do, pal, you could take the top of this, and you can use your thumb as force, right? And scrape, just like that. See how you throw those sparks?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. Want to give it a shot?
Sure.
Okay, let me help you here. So, just like that. See how you put that pressure on it?
Oops.
It's okay? Think of it like that's a knife blade, and you want to scrape that off. Okay, can you hold it in your hand like that and scrape? Yep, do it real hard. Yes, just like that. Do you think you could do it?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So am I gonna...
Okay, so you'll have to lean over like this and then scrape. All you have to do is shower those sparks right onto our fire bundle. And I have gone ahead, I've taken our bundle, I've kneaded it up, and I put a piece of our steel wool into the middle of it. So as soon as he puts that spark on it, we're going to be able to blow on it, start a fire, and we'll start moving in all of our ingredients. You're doing great. Oh, there you go. Blow on it, Oogie. Alright. There we go. Hold on. Let's add some more stuff to it.
Like leaves?
Alright, take your small stuff here, lay it on top of it. Just like this. Just like that, dude. Go ahead and lay it on top there.
Yes!
You did it, dude!
I can't believe I did it.
Alright, now just add wood to it.
In a little while, we'll have a big fire, and we'll cook, and once it gets darker, we'll cook, and we'll talk.
That's right. Because that's what this is all about, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so proud of you, man.
Thank you.
Any of these guys here can tell you that getting a fire going with a ferro rod is not easy. It takes a lot of practice, it takes work,
Yeah.
and you did it. You did it, dude.
I think it's better probably to start off with the lighter for your first time, because that's what I did when I came up here for my first time. But then once you sort of get used to the fire, and I think you should try the ferro rod, because that got it. I mean, it was harder to get, like I said, to get used to it, but once you did, it started the fire really quickly.
That steel wool works great, don't it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Is that stuff expensive?
No, super cheap.
Wow. Well, then you should definitely buy that, because that worked. Well, here's the thing that my dad told me. My dad told me to don't toss a stick in there like you're afraid. Don't just throw it. What you have to do is don't be afraid of the fire. Just make sure that you're not going to get your hands burnt or anything.
In and out.
Yeah.
Just like this. You can take it, you can lay that in, and that's not going to burn you.
Yeah. So that's one thing my dad told me.
You're doing great, buddy.
That was cool.
All right, Looky Bear. So since you got your fire going, what do you do with your ferro rod?
Well, you put it up.
That's right, because you don't want to lose it.
Yep. So I'm going to put it in the backpack.
Wise man. Now for this episode of the Campfire Chronicles, we have all sorts of gear that we're going to be using. We have our lantern for when it gets dark. Our backpack is the Red Rock Enhanced Assault Pack, which I like a great deal. We have a GSI stainless steel cup for some hot chocolate and coffee. We also have another enameled cup, and we will be using the French military mess kit to cook our dinner. We also have a Petzl headlamp for light, some hot chocolate for my son, some coffee for myself, and our dinner tonight is going to be a backpacker's meal. We're going to have some barbecue baked beans, of course, and we're going to have some mashed potatoes.
And then for dessert, we're going to be having some delicious Spam.
Okay, not really for dessert. That's going to go in with our mashed potatoes. And it's going to be pretty dang awesome, too.
Yep.
Now, for this, we have lots of dry firewood. This is actually the apple tree, which I sawed up. All right, Lukey Bear, what do you think about some hot chocolate, buddy?
Sounds great.
All right. We'll go ahead and get our cup on here.
Okay.
Get some water going. All right. We'll just kind of leave this right on the side of our fire, just enough so that it heats it up, because I don't think you really want boiling hot chocolate, do you?
Nah.
Already, guys, it's pretty dang warm out here, in addition to this fire, so, yeah, I don't want anything too hot.
Yeah.
Man, Lukey Bear, you did a great job getting this fire going.
Thanks, Dad. I couldn't have done it without you showing me how to.
Heck yeah, buddy, it's all about learning.
Yep.
That is a nice fire.
Yes, sir.
Alright guys, Lukey Bone here. He is going to start off our conversation for the night with a question. Fire away.
Well, I wanted to ask you guys, what is the word that you say a lot unintentionally? So, Dad, what do you say a lot?
I say guys, folks, my friends, so on and so forth. I say, of course. What else do I say? I get hung up on words very, very easily.
Yeah.
You know, guys, no one is perfect, and I'm definitely not. There's no doubt about it. What about you? What do you get hung up on?
I can't really say. I don't know. I guess I say dude a lot.
Yeah. My daughter, his sister, she says like.
Yeah.
That is definitely a teenage thing.
She says like all the time. I say but I think is that just sort of stuttering?
Oh no. I think when I first started the channel, I said a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Looks like his water here is almost ready. We don't want to boil it. We just want to get it nice and warm.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. This is going to be his cup. And what we have here is some Grove Square single cup hot chocolate. This is for like a Keurig machine. We hijacked this from my wife. Don't tell.
Yeah. Thank goodness Mom doesn't watch these videos.
Yeah.
Or does she? Oh gosh.
She listens to me edit them all the time.
Yeah, you may want to do that while she's using the bathroom or something.
Right. So we'll go ahead and take his hot chocolate. We'll dump it into the cup here. Dude, this would probably be the best cup of hot chocolate you've ever had. So there you have it, my friends. Lukey Bear, he brought up, what is it that you say the most? Maybe unintentionally, something that you get hung up on. Like I said, there's a bunch of words that I get hung up on. So, what made you think about asking that question, Lukey?
I have no clue. The first thing that came to my mind was Madison and her problem with saying like. I mean.
Sometimes when she's talking to us, I have to be like, honey, you need to slow down. Stop talking for a minute. I want you to think about what you're going to say and use the word like only about one time.
Yeah.
Now, about 30 minutes before we came up here, I asked on Facebook if we were sitting around a fire, what would you guys like to talk about? What would you like to ask us? So let's go ahead and pull it up here and let's see the questions that we got. You guys have some really good questions here. Someone wants to talk about quantum physics. And that's amazing because I was actually thinking about doing that, but we'll wait for another episode. Kathy wants me to demonstrate how to make biscuits on a campfire. And I tell you what, when we go out for our next overnight adventure, I will make sure to bring along everything that we need to do that. I didn't actually have enough time to grab the ingredients for it, but next time we will. Andrew wants to know, why does Fjallraven seem to be one of my favorite companies? Fjallraven makes some incredible gear. I mean, it's absolute bomber, just like these pants, which I wear all the time. They are very good quality. They've never let me down, and I've worn them in all situations and environments. When it comes to gear, you know, I happen to have favorites. I do like Fjallraven a great deal. They've definitely earned my respect over the years, but they're only one favorite out of many, many favorites. When it comes to Fjallraven items and products, there's a lot of their gear that I have just not been able to test out. And that's just because here in the United States, it's pretty uncommon. It's pretty rare to actually see Fjallraven backpacks, tents, sleeping bags, and clothes. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that I just don't know about the company because of lack of experience and exposure. One negative is that they're extremely costly. Their items are very, very expensive. So, I mean, that's definitely a kind of a negative. But then again, on the flip side of the coin, can you put a dollar amount on quality, on something that will last for virtually ever? That's something to think about. Time for my coffee here. It's definitely starting to get dark, isn't it, Lukey?
Mm-hmm.
For this trip, we are drinking some Taster's Nasty. I don't know why I grabbed this. I just opened up my cabinet and grabbed the first thing that I saw. I should have brought some of that good coffee that you fine viewers have sent in. We might as well get our cook on, if you know what I mean. So we're going to go ahead and take apart the French mess kit. And we're going to go ahead and just start getting our water boiling in this pan right here. That way we can add the Spam, we can add the mashed potatoes, and all that good stuff. So, go ahead and add our water. You know, one thing that I can do is add the Spam as well. That way, like the oils start coming out into the water itself. Might flavor the mashed potatoes that much more. I'm gonna go ahead, take my knife here, open up our Spam. And I am just cutting this into chunks. Our knife for this trip is a Lone Wolf blade. I don't remember the name or model, so I'll have to post that on the screen for you now. Very inexpensive knife, very sharp. It's good quality stuff. While we have the meat in the water beginning to come to a boil, we'll go ahead and take the beans and put them in our next pot. Oh yes. Oh yeah, bro. That's starting to cook up nicely, dude.
Yes. Well, as we said earlier, we're having baked beans, mashed potatoes, and Spam for dessert, of course. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that this is actually my first time having Spam before because my parents grew up eating it, and you know, this is my first time, so I hope it'll be good. I don't know. What do you think?
Spam is okay. It's always been kind of like one of those like meats where you're like, you know that's not really good for you sort of thing. But as a backpacking meal, a camping meal, you can do a lot of things with Spam that really taste phenomenal. Especially when you've been hiking all day, all week, all month. I tell you what, a little bit of Spam can spice up anything and make it absolutely amazing. We just have some instant mashed potatoes.
Here are the mashed potatoes, as you can see.
Now my son here, he just went off into the woods, take a leak, go pee. And I tell you, being a guy, being a man, and being able to stand up and pee anywhere you want to, that is a modern day superpower.
Yes.
I tell you what, that's the closest thing to a superpower that I have, and
Yeah.
I am so thankful that I have it.
It's so hard for girls to go to the bathroom, like if they're camping, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Probably. I don't know, being a guy rocks.
It does. I went ahead here and I put on my headlamp, and this is a Petzl Tatika RGB. So you have white light, red light, green light, blue light. Very, very nice headlamp here. So right now, I'm gonna use this just so I can do some cooking. Looks like our water's about to come to a boil. Let me show you our food. Let's see, our beans are looking great.
Awesome.
We can kind of move them to the side here. All right, we got our water here to the side. It's time to put in our mashed potatoes. Now, since I didn't measure the water, what I'm gonna do is just add the potatoes until I get the right consistency that I want. So let's start right there. Stir it up nice and slow. I think we added just the right amount.
Yeah,
Look at that.
That'll be good. Mashed potatoes with Spam in it.
Uh-huh. And some beans, brother. Let me go ahead and get you some dinner here, buddy.
Okay.
All right, now this is a famous backpacking meal right here. Oh, man.
Oh, that's gonna be delicious.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Okay, buddy. Here you go,
Is
dude.
it hot?
It won't burn you. It might be a little warm. All right, you have some Spam in it? Blow on it.
Yep.
Let's see how it is.
That is delicious.
Is that good?
Uh-huh.
Awesome, man.
It's sort of hot, but it's not too hot to melt your brain.
Yeah.
That is just right. Look at that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that looks pretty hot, so
Yeah.
Joe, go slow.
Yep.
Check that out, folks. Now that looks like a freaking good meal. Instant mashed potatoes, red skin with some Spam and some barbecue baked beans. Oh boy. Now it's my turn to try this out. Mmm.
Is that good?
Mmm. Okay. Oh, guys. That is a good combination right there. That Spam adds just enough flavor to it
Yeah.
to kind of spice it up. Good point, my friend. I like your philosophy. I like his philosophy on things. When things get rough, all you need is some time to put everything in perspective. Get out by yourself, take your friend, whatever you want to do, take your children. And, you know, as you're out there, what's truly important will come to you. And plus, if you have problems, you have issues, a little bit of quiet time, a little bit of nature time, you can usually come up with the right solution. Well, since we're eating dinner, I don't have much of a story really tonight, but I do want to talk about trail days in Damascus. This took place last weekend, and let me tell you, what a hoot. Did you have fun?
Yes, that was pretty fun.
Man, all these AT hikers that are in the parade just flipping out. Everybody's carrying different like water guns, squirt guns, water packs and stuff. It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
But it was a good time.
Oh, it's a watermelon! Oh, we're gonna get wet.
They had a talent show, which proved to be pretty dang interesting, as you might expect.
It was hilarious.
Now, when we were there, I actually bumped into a couple of our viewers, which was really, really cool. I wish that we had more time to talk. When they actually came up to me and approached me, man, the music was just rocking. It was super loud. I don't think very well when there's super loud music. First off, I don't listen to music much in general, so I was a little bit thrown off, to be honest with you. To the individuals that I met there, guys, that was really, really cool. Maybe in the future we can meet up back in Damascus. I'll buy you guys a cup of coffee and we'll shoot the breeze. That would be a lot of fun. Honestly, I felt kind of bad because it was so short and like I said, it was so loud. I wasn't really thinking straight, but either way, it was very, very cool. That made my entire trip, to be honest with you. To the individuals that I met out there in Damascus, if you guys will, go ahead and send me a private message. I mean, that experience meant a lot to me, that you guys would take the time to come up to me and say hello, introduce yourselves. I want to send you guys something, so please contact me. I'll get your information. I have a little gift for you. So thanks, guys. Now, guys, this is a beautiful fire. Lukey Bear here, he's taking care of it. He's keeping it going.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So we might as well answer some more questions. Let's see here. Kevin wants to talk about dogs. Now, when you go backpacking or even on a longer hike with your pet, I recommend that, of course, you have a water bowl. You need to have water, you need to have food. It really also depends on the type of terrain that you're going on. If it's something really rocky, something really sharp, you might want to get them shoes because they can cut up the pads of their feet. Also, if you're in a really hot environment, such as like a desert, something like this, man, that heat on their paws can scorch them. So again, you may want to think about some puppy shoes. They do have first aid kits for dogs, for pets. You can either make one, you can buy one, whatever you want to. And I would definitely recommend that you have tweezers at least, because ticks are definitely an issue, and as soon as you see them, you want to get them off. Also, it depends on your dog's demeanor, if you want to have them on a leash or something like that. Now, in a lot of state parks, it is required by law that you keep them leashed, so, you know, look into it before you head out. In the future, we'll do a longer, more in-depth video on that subject. Benny wants me to tell you guys about the worst camping trip I've ever had, if I've ever had one. And I tell you what, I've had this one camping trip, and overall, it was a fantastic trip. It was a lot of fun. But at the same time, for hours and hours of it, it was horrendous. Now, my buddy Corey and I, we headed out to the Pisgah National Forest. We hiked about 15 miles one day. We camped out, spent the night, had a great time. And the following day, you know, it's like we're packing up, we're getting ready to go. The sky, the clouds are looking pretty dark, pretty ominous. And as soon as we start trekking back, and we have 15 miles to go, man, it opens up. It starts thunderstorming and pouring the rain. And it did that for hours and hours and hours. And I'd say probably about 7-8 miles in out of our 15 trek back to the car, we're getting some serious chafing going on, if you know what I'm saying. And I tell you what, just that pouring rain, everything being soaking wet. I brought a rain jacket, but I didn't bring any bottoms. Soaking wet, miles and miles of walking, and I tell you what, man, that underwear is just starting to rub me raw, and it was rubbing my buddy raw too. And I'd say for miles of that trip, we actually walked backwards, in reverse. I mean, just because it hurt so bad. And just with that rain coming down, being soaking wet, every step was just just over and over for like 7-8 miles. It was a great trip, but that was pretty darn miserable. Now, what really topped that off what really turned it around at the end, is we're about half a mile away from the car, and we're actually back on this old gravel road. And here comes this vehicle, just hauling butt up that road, you know? And they stop, and this guy puts down the window, and he asks me, he's like, "Hey, you guys look like you can use a nice cold beer." And I tell you what, after 15 miles of serious chafing in the pouring, pouring rain, oh man, that was just about the best beer I've ever had in my entire life. And that one little moment of kindness right there turned that entire trip around. Even though I said, you know, we really did have a great time. It was a great trip all in all. But that was a very miserable 7-8 miles. You could have called me Chevy Chafe, if you know what I'm saying. Well, let's go ahead and answer another question. All right, Ray has a question in regards to our husky. Would I ever bring her out for an overnight trip? And if I did, would she carry her own food and blanket? She does have a harness, a little pack that she wears on our trips, where she can carry her own supplies. I don't have to worry about a blanket because she is a husky. That dog is naturally super duper warm. In the winter, I mean, it could be 0 degrees, pouring the snow, and that dog is outside laying down sleeping in it. She loves it. So you don't have to worry about a blanket or anything like that. She will usually just kind of sleep right next to me. Taking the husky out, I definitely do it sometimes, but there's a couple things that kind of work against me when it comes to taking her out. One is that she loves being inside at nighttime. For some reason, she does not like being outside when it's dark. So, yeah, she will sometimes just whimper and cry until she gets back home the next day. Poor little thing. Poor big thing, I guess. But another factor is that she has to be on a leash, just like I said, because that dog, man, if she catches on to something, a scent, an animal, she's gone. She will be a mile away just like that. She's so fast. So if I'm taking her out, usually it's not where I can record a video, because I have to have the camera, I have to have the leash, and I tell you what, it takes a lot of work to take the husky out. I tell you what, when you're out backpacking and camping, having your furry friend with you, man, nothing is better. That's the truth. Chris here, he wants to know, making a fire for cooking versus a pocket stove during a long hike, such as the Appalachian Trail. Absolutely. When you're going out for a long, extended hike, you definitely need to have backup ways of cooking and heating, so on and so forth. There will be plenty of times where you just don't feel like getting a fire going. You're just going to be so tired, you're just not going to want to do it. You'll just want to eat, you'll just want to go to sleep. So having that backup stove, maybe it's a canister stove, maybe it's an alcohol stove, maybe you're using some solid fuel, whatever, you definitely need to have a backup system. And plus, if you're going to be out for an extended hike, it's very likely that it's going to rain. Just like here, usually we have rain just about every other day. That's just how it is. We get as much rain as a rainforest here, so you could count on it being wet at some point in time during a week. Very rarely do we have week-long periods without some sort of rainfall. So having that system, so you could just heat up your food, kick back and relax, rest up, is absolutely vital. Tell you what, I'm so proud of this guy. I'm proud of you, man.
Well, thank you.
He is a good man, you know? Yeah, I'm proud of you, buddy. He's super smart, he's super kind. He has common sense, which is so rare to see in children these days. So let's go ahead and answer one more question, and then the little man here and I will do some talking. Michael wants to know about backpacks for children. What would be my suggestions for him? What would I recommend? Now, there are companies out there who do make backpacks for children, for smaller framed individuals. Definitely do some searching around. And I highly recommend that you actually go to a store and you let your son try some things on. Because really, that fit will be absolutely critical for him to have a really good time. You definitely don't want your child getting sore, getting rubbed raw in certain places, and because you guys know, like I do, that can turn a trip completely around. You'll have an awful, awful time. So, yep, there's definitely packs out there that are made more for children. Maybe look for like a small size woman's backpack. That might also work. So definitely head to a store, let him try on some packs, get a cool color, get something that he really, really likes. Let him pick it out because you want him to be proud of that pack. That is absolutely key. What do you think about this green light?
I love it.
That's not too bad. Is it super bright when I look at you?
Quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah. This is the green light on this headlamp. Not too shabby.
Try the red one.
All right. On, blue, white,
Yeah.
red.
I personally like the red one.
Do you like the red one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I should say, folks, that we had some of the instant mashed potatoes left over, and I brought a Ziploc bag up here so I can transfer the mashed potatoes to the Ziploc bag and I can take it out for another trip. We're going to let what's left of our fire just kind of die out. We're going to kind of wrap up the night before it gets too late.
Yep.
Lukey Bone here, he's got a busy day. He's going to be going out to Virginia to the Barter Theater tomorrow, and he's going to be watching Wizard of Oz?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz play, which is going to be pretty awesome.
I hope it's good. It's not. I've never really been to a professional play like that, you know?
Yeah. I don't know.
Probably be pretty entertaining. It's just so long. I think they said more than 2.5 hours, at least.
That is a long one, all right.
Uh-huh.
But I'm sure it'll be pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Let's see if we have any other good questions to answer, Yuki Bear.
Okay.
Now, James wants to know, how long have I had the Ram van? Because that thing is sick. He also wants to know what year it is. Do you remember what year? 93?
I think so.
Yeah, I believe it's a 1993 Ram van that's been converted. And that thing is awesome. I call it the Turtle because it's big, it's green, it's slow. It does have the medium-sized V8, or I guess it might be the small-sized V8.
Yeah.
They definitely have a bigger V8, but gosh, I don't know what you would want that much power for. I mean, that thing would just drink gasoline.
Yeah.
But,
Almost already does, you know.
no, it does better than my truck does.
Yeah.
By a lot. That Titan drinks gasoline. I mean, just...
It's a big truck.
Yeah. It's so powerful, and it just burns to that gas. That's the only negative thing about it.
Yeah.
And plus, I can't even fill it up. I don't know if I've ever filled that truck 100% full of gas because the gas pumps shut off at $75. And it takes more than $75 to fill that thing up.
Golly.
Yeah, I've never filled it up before. Luckily, I don't have to drive my truck every single day, so...
Yeah.
The Ram van is really cool. I really like that vehicle. It's perfect for camping.
Yeah.
And it's also, like, for us, a really good puppy vehicle. We can throw the dogs in there. We can go drive around. It's got those leather seats, so, I mean, even if it gets dirty, just wipe it up, rock and roll. And we got that thing super duper cheap. I just happened to hop on Craigslist one day. I was looking around and I saw it and I was like, ooh, now that would be perfect for our overnight trips, for the family, for the dogs, and it definitely is.
Yeah.
Now here's a little trick for you guys. If you have a bottle of water, even a jug of water, whatever, you can take your headlamp and you can put it right on there and it makes a fantastic lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It works better when it's 100% full of water, but as you can see there, that works pretty darn well. Not bad. You can see the two different lanterns there. They work pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my friends, we're going to kick back here. We're going to have some father and son time. We're going to enjoy the fire for what's left of it. We want to say thank you all so much for joining us for this episode of the Campfire Chronicles. We'll have plenty more coming up in 2014. Next time, I will be bringing up my daughter, and after that, we'll bring up my wife, and then maybe we'll have some other surprise guests.
Yeah.
Yeah. But guys, I want to say thank you all so much. Everybody, take care, be well, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Strength and honor. Be well. I love you, buddy. Man, you did great. You're a natural.